NBA Lead will bring the fans what they want, when they want. NBA Lead, for the fans, by the fans.
Are you looking for some sick sports apparel? DHTK designed some of the newest and coolest brands such as Represent, Game Over, and Don't Hate the King. DHTK's vision is to integrate culture, fashion, and attitude that best represents the players and caters to us, the fans. Click on DHTK.com and subscribe to their mailing list for an automatic 10% off your order. If you are a basketball fan, follow DHTK on social media. Visit DHTK.com for more details. DHTK.com. You don't have to be a king to dress like one.
We are back to the final segment of NBA Full Court Press Radio here on the Happy Hour Network and our good friends at Full Court Press Radio app on iTunes and the Google Play Store, 347-857-1947. I'm your host, Danny Thompson, with my main man, Ethan Sturder, NBAFCPRadio.com. We're going to close out with really the best game of the weekend. I talked Heat and Thunder, Heat and Raptors, which is my favorite. Since Ethan decided that this was the most boring series in the NBA, we're going to switch it up a little bit with the other Game 6 that's going on right now. As we went to the break, Spurs and Thunder are playing in Oklahoma City right now, and the big storyline for me is two of them, is that, Ethan, which one's more likely to be true in this situation? If the Thunder lose tonight, that this will be Kevin Durant's final home game in Oklahoma City, or if the Spurs lose tonight, is this the last we see of Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan? Which one do you think is a better chance?
Well, it's not a foregone conclusion. If the Thunder lose, they lose the series. They could still win in San Antonio. I mean, it's unlikely that they win 3 games in San Antonio this series, but it's possible for sure. I don't know. Probably Kevin Durant leaving. I don't think Tim Duncan's going to retire. I know you'll harp on him being kind of ineffectual in the playoffs, but it's been more than matchups than anything else. He's still one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. He still has a place. He's been playing on one leg for the last few years. He knows how to adjust to his new body. And he's a really smart player, and I think he could stick around just as long as Pop will. Manu Ginobili is still fine. He still can play. He's a real good man off the bench, just like he has been. If anything, I think Parker's the one to worry about, even though he's under the contract the longest. You never know. You never know what Duncan's going to do.
For me, it's watching Tim Duncan is like watching that old pitcher, old hitter, that just doesn't seem to have it anymore. I mean, Duncan in this series, Ethan is averaging 3.4 points a game on, I think, like 28% shooting. Ethan, these are like nights. I mean, this is horrible to watch. Duncan's not playing very many minutes. I think he's averaging around 17 total minutes in the playoffs right now, averaging. He's averaging around 8 points a game in the playoffs. This series has just been completely bad. And I've been waiting for that vintage Tim Duncan game. And tonight, actually, Ethan, in the first 8 minutes of the game, Tim Duncan has 6 points. So he scored more points tonight than he scored basically in the majority of the series. I think Duncan has I think the Thunder have no choice but to win. You're right. I cannot see the Thunder beating a Spurs team a third time at home. The Spurs lost 1 game at home all year. They've lost 2 games in this series. I just don't know if the Spurs can lose a third game at home and what this would do. But for me, it's Thunder up tonight. I think Westbrook and Durant in this series at home, and I'll be honest with you, Ethan, as a guy who likes the Golden State Warriors and a guy who's been doing a lot of work with the Warriors, who, in your opinion, would you want to see in the Western Conference Finals? Would you rather see Oklahoma City or would you rather see the Spurs?
I would really figure the answer to that question myself. I think Pop knows that he can't beat the Warriors, but they certainly have more tools to beat the Warriors. But Oklahoma City has the ultimate Warriors kryptonite in Kevin Durant, and he's always killed them. It's always been terrible to watch. I mean, there was that one game last year, I think, where he had like 30 points in the first half and hurt his ankle right before halftime, and he couldn't play, and the Warriors won the game. But if he had played the whole game, he would have had like 55 points. It was amazing. He just kills them. Warriors don't know how to deal with them, and they've never been able to figure it out. So I guess for the sheer fact that San Antonio doesn't have one guy who's going to consistently beat them every night, they're going to have a lot more difficulty scoring. So I guess I'd rather play San Antonio. As crazy as that sounds.
But with the Spurs, the way they're constructed now, how can the Warriors be able to stop Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge in that front line? If you're Steve Kerr, how do you counteract that? Because Aldridge is playing like, let's be honest, one of the top 4 or 5 players in the NBA over the last 2 months. I mean, he's from the start of the playoffs and even from the end of the season on until now. It seems like LaMarcus just can't be stopped right now. And Kawhi is Kawhi. Kawhi is the top 5 player in the league, finished second in the MVP voting. How do the Warriors guard those two on the front on the post? I know Green's going to take one, but who is going to take the other one?
Well, the thing is, with guys like with the Spurs offense, it's not the same offense that they used to run. It's a lot more iso ball, the new Kawhi-so, if you haven't heard that one yet. But they do a lot of mid-range. They have a lot of guys who can guard Kawhi, actually. They have guys like Iguodala and Harrison Barnes can do it. Clay can do it for stretches. You can stick someone like Sean Livingston on him. I don't think he's strong enough, but he could do it. Draymond Green would probably get tasked with LaMarcus. He's so good in the post and he back down and get out to LaMarcus if he wants to shoot those 19-footers. But the thing is, with LaMarcus, the last couple games hasn't been great. And he's really the thing that makes the Spurs so deadly on offense is when he gets it going. Because if he's shooting shots, he's getting the post, he's taking people to school, then that opens up things for everybody else. And I know a couple of guys don't really like Danny Green, but this is one of the things that no one has really talked about is the idea that maybe Billy Donovan has outcoached Greg Popovich this series. Playing the two guys at the big positions with Adams and Kanter, he's totally neutralized Tim Duncan, and he's really taken away the Spurs' ability to rebound, which has always been their strength. And when you have Kawhi guarding Russell Westbrook a lot of the time, he can't rebound as much either. So it's one of those things where I don't really know what's going on. And Danny Green isn't playing on the minutes. He's playing like 30 a game, and he hit a lot of shots the other day, and he's still not playing. I know Pop yells at him a lot, but it's been kind of weird to think about that maybe this is happening.
Exactly. Ethan, before we go any further, we got a caller in line from the 516 area code calling back in. Caller, what's your name and what's on your mind?
Hey, how you guys doing? Ethan, Danny, great show. This is Ted Hicks calling you in with a question, and you guys might have covered this because I was listening to the show and then I got distracted in another phone call. My question that might have already been answered is everyone is so caught up in the greatness of Steph Curry. Are we watching the end of the LeBron era, or not the LeBron legacy, but the LeBron era where it was like all LeBron all the time? For the last couple of years, it's been all Steph all the time. Is this kind of like the handoff period, kind of like remember with Magic and Bird and Michael came in and kind of stole the show? Are we watching this?
Ethan, you want to take this one, or you want me to take this one?
It's funny. I was just talking with a couple of my friends in a group chat about this today, and we were all yelling about it. It was a big debate whether who's the best player, and everybody agreed Steph was the MVP, and it was kind of split on whether Steph is better than LeBron. I have to, being a Golden State guy, I got to take Steph. LeBron is so good, and you can't take away anything that he's done in his career. He's a top 10 player all time, maybe even borderline top 5 if you want to look at what he's done. He's done some really incredible things in his career, and he was unstoppable in Cleveland last year and taking that team to the finals and bringing the Cavs to 6 games. But I think you just can't ignore what Steph did this year, and ignoring the team accomplishments of 73 wins. They had one of the best offensive seasons in NBA history. He did things a guard has never done before. He's the best shooter in NBA history, and that's what the league is trending towards, 3-point shooting, and he's the best at it. Especially when he's got all these guys he can throw the ball to. It makes all of them so much better with his ability to space the floor and drive to the basket, hit 70% at the rim. As good as LeBron is, I think his declining jump shot, for whatever reason that is, maybe it's lower body strength, he's just exhausted after all these minutes he's played in his career. I think this was the year. I think last year was more of a debate. I think this year it's pretty much Curry has overtaken LeBron.
All right, so I'm going to take my opinion on this one. Thanks, Ted, for the phone call because it's very interesting to get this question. If you don't know Ted Hicks, listen to his show Late Night Parrots here on the Happy Hour Network Wednesday nights. But Ted, let's get into LeBron and my thoughts on LeBron and the whole thing. Is it the handoff period? I think in the popularity contest, I think it is. I mean, Curry is basically everywhere. He's the golden boy, the golden boy of the league. You know, his wife now has a show on Food Network, and his daughter's the cutest girl in America. So basically, anything Riley Curry does, it's golden. Anything Aisha Curry does, unless she's talking on social media, it's pretty much golden. Curry's three-point shot is golden. His game is golden. But here's the difference. LeBron James is still, until he can't play anymore, the most physically imposing player in the NBA. He still can assert his will at any point in time. I think the only difference, as people say, the end of the LeBron era is this, is that right now the supporting cast in Golden State is more suited to what Stephen Curry does than the supporting cast is more suited to the Cleveland Cavaliers until this season. The Cleveland Cavaliers have played their best basketball since LeBron James has been basically back in Cleveland for the second time around. They look so much better against the Atlanta Hawks. They're spacing the floor better. Channing Frye and Kevin Love are hitting their shots from the outside. Kyrie Irving's getting to the basket, which allows LeBron to be LeBron. And even though the shot might be declining a little bit, as Ethan might have mentioned, it actually woke up in the Hawks series. I think there was a couple of games in the series where he hit multiple three-pointers and shooting at a high percentage. LeBron still can't be stopped. We still haven't found that guy other than Kawhi Leonard who can stop him on a consistent basis on the defensive side of the ball. And LeBron is still imposing on both ends of the court anyway. He's still a great defender at the same time. Curry's game is basically, we've learned this. When he got hurt in the playoffs with the knee and then the ankle, there's a collective sigh because Curry has the injury problems in the history with the ankles in the past. Stephen Curry could be one ankle injury away from this all ending. Let's just be honest. LeBron is built like a Russian tank. That's the main thing. LeBron took some time off last season to rest and rejuvenate, but let's not get it twisted. LeBron James is still, I think, the best player in the world, even though Stephen Curry is the best player in the NBA at this very moment. There's not a player more dominant, but if I'm still taking a guy right now, number one overall, I got to take a guy who is built like a Russian tank. Yes, you might have questioned him, but just remember what he did to Atlanta, what he's going to do to Miami or Toronto, and what he's going to do to Oklahoma City in the finals. Sorry, Ethan, Golden State doesn't get there. What he's going to do, and this is LeBron's going to win the championship. So we're going to talk Curry now, but we'll talk LeBron as he's holding the MVP trophy in the finals in mid-June. That's my take on it. Ted, thanks for the call. You know, like I said, check out Late Night Parents here on Happy Hour Network on Wednesday nights because he's always got something going on with there. But we're going to close out the show the next minute and a half. Ethan, I know you had some. I know you're probably thinking that I'm crazy about this whole Oklahoma City beating the Warriors concept, but do you think the Thunder have a shot at beating the Warriors if they get to the conference finals?
Of course they do. They have Kevin Durant. He's the best scorer in the league. And he's always killed the Warriors, and he could just put up 35, 7 and 7 a game. It's not out of the question.
I know one person has got a very keen interest two people have got a very keen interest in the NBA Finals. Our good friends at DHTK, our good friends Ellie and Danny Newfield, because really at DHTK, which stands for Don't Hate the King, they also have a great line that says Game Over, which is GAM30OVER. For their sake, they're hoping it's Warriors and Cavs because their two major players are involved in the series. So big shout out to those guys as well. And please check out their shirts because LeBron is basically destroying everybody in the Eastern Conference. So all our Cavs fans need to go get those Don't Hate the King shirts because you can't hate on them. And for the Dubs fans out there, it is game over because if you watch the series, they closed out last night where Curry's playing. And, it's really game over in the 73-9 season. But, Ethan, before you go, what are you looking for most two before we hop on the air on Tuesday night? What's the thing you're looking for in Game 6 in Miami or if you're looking for Game 7? 10 seconds. What do you think? What's the most you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Game 7 Sharks Predators. I know it's not NBA, but that's what I'm watching tonight.
Much more entertaining. The NHL playoffs are always entertaining. It's something that you love, especially I hope there's something going on Friday night because there's really nothing going on in the NBA tomorrow. But, Ethan, about 10 seconds, 15. How does everybody get in contact with you on social media?
Follow me on Twitter at Ethan Broseph. I'm on Cyberdust plus Ethan Broseph. It's with a PH. I hope to hear from you all, guys. It's been fun.
Ethan has actually just dropped an article in the middle of the show. That's how talented he is, because he drops articles as he's talking on the radio. Check